Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, whatever time it is that you're watching me right now. I just want to do it that way. How are you guys doing? Remember, this is still another wonderful edition of How to Have Fun coming your way this time around. Of course, if you don't know, today happens to be the 20th day in the month of January 2017. And of course, those of you who don't know, today is Donald Trump's inauguration in US. He will be sworn in as the United States president, and he will be moving into the White House shortly after. So we hope for his helpful hands to extend to us where we are today. That is how I'm going to kickstart the show. Of course, I am not alone in the zone. I have a young man and a young lady together with me here in the studio. So we'll be talking about a very important and vital issue that has been bothering a whole lot of young people out there. And what exactly is that? We want to be talking about Big Brother Africa, but this time around it's going to hit your screen as Big Brother Naija. Okay, so for those of you who don't know what Big Brother is all about, Big Brother was originated from South Africa. It was created by Endemol, and it was first released in 2003, 2007 to present. Okay, we have had like 14 countries, 14 African countries grace that reality show. We have countries like Angola, we have countries like Botswana, Namibia, Kenya, Ghana, South Africa, Nigeria, Zambia, Zimbabwe, Mozambique, Rwanda, and Sierra Leone. But this time around, it's not going to be like that, because we will have Big Brother Naija, and it will be happening live in Lagos, a situation where 11 housemates will be locked in a house for 11 weeks, okay? One house and one baby, and at the end of the day, one person is going to walk away with a whopping 25 million naira and a Kia Sorento also to be won on that very day. It's really enticing, isn't it? But what exactly about Big Brother are we talking about? What exactly about Big Brother do we want to look into? What are the moral implications? Because some of our parents do advise us not to watch Big Brother because they do not understand exactly what is happening there, whether it has any spiritual value, any moral value that they don't understand really. But that's exactly why we are here, and that's exactly what we will be talking about. Of course, I have, just like I told you initially, I have David with me in the studio, and I also have Princess with me in the studio. Those people, they will be helping me to touch light on this issue, and we will be talking about it together on how to have fun. By the time I come back, we will get into the discussion proper. But for the meantime, do not go anywhere. I will be right back. Yes, hello guys, welcome back to How to Have Fun. We are back again. We just went on a commercial break and we are back. Before we left, we told you guys that we wanted to be talking about Big Brother Naija, which will be hitting your screen as soon as possible in a couple of days. But before then, we want to talk about it, the previous Big Brother Africa seasons and what our expectations are on the current Big Brother Naija, which will be hitting our screens in a couple of days. Of course, I told you initially also that I am not alone in the zone. I have a young man and a young lady here with me in the studio. I have David and I also have Princess. In case you don't know my name is Favor. Alright, and we will be here in the next couple of minutes to trash this issue out, okay, because it has been yearning for people's attention. So here we are to talk about it. So David, how are you doing?
I'm okay.
Thank you for joining me on the show today. I hope you've been watching Big Brother Africa.
Of course.
You have? Are you a fan of Big Brother Africa? You are. You do watch it all the time. So what's your perception about the whole Big Brother thing?
I see Big Brother as something that will keep, improve your manners, your social life, your moral life too.
Okay.
And as well, make you make you a public figure.
Okay.
So.
That's of course if you decide to use that platform.
Yes.
Okay. So you think morally,
Yes.
that's a way to groom yourself morally,
Yes.
and they give us this impression that Big Brother Africa give us this impression that it's a platform where they bring African talents to come from different walks of life to come and showcase their talent. Okay, do you think that's a very wonderful platform for Africans to do showcase their talent?
For me, my own point of view, I don't really think it's gonna show any talent at all. The only talent the scene is gonna show is, let's say, your way of handling issues, your house manners.
Okay.
That's what's gonna improve. Besides that, I don't think they don't sing, they don't act, they don't do all the entertainment. Just be at home, behave as a normal person. When the viewers like your way of acting, your way of handling issues, your manners, they vote you and you win.
But it's quite funny. You just sit back and eat and drink and sleep whenever you want. Then people just get to vote for you and you walk away with a whooping 25 million naira. That's really crazy anyway. But people see it like it's not really worth it. They didn't work for this money, did they? So
Yeah.
do you really think it's necessary per se? Because some people look at it from the point that that money can actually be channeled into doing something much more useful, other than just giving it to somebody who stayed in the house for months or weeks, and at the end of the day, just give the person a whopping 25 million or 50 million naira and a car, all right, without doing anything. So, from your own perspective, how do you view that particular thing?
Well,
the Big Brother?
I see it as it's fun, yeah, but I don't really think they worked for it, just like people say. They didn't work for it, but I think it's something that they've been doing. It's normal stuff, so I don't really blame them.
Okay.
It's something that there are other TV reality shows,
Okay.
like Project MTN, Project Fame, and the rest. Though these people work hard for it, but Big Brother Africa or Big Brother Naija, as case may be, that's not the case here. All they do is sit down, play, laugh, have fun, and at the end of the day, they win.
Even though they have tasks sometimes that they do, but not like
serious stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I just see that for someone to conduct his or herself for 11 weeks, it's something worth it.
Okay.
It's not easy. The way they behave in Big Brother, as in the building, is not actually the way they behave in their various homes.
Okay.
They have to conduct themselves very well to be loved by their viewers.
Okay.
So it's not really easy to change your personality, try to fit in, and as well entice the viewers, make them feel your style and everything. So it's not really easy.
Okay. Which Big Brother housemate do you know?
I do know Timachiku. I do know the present host, Ibuka.
Okay.
I do know, well,
Karen.
so many of them.
Okay.
I know so many of them.
Alright, let's switch over to Princess. Princess, how are you doing? Thank you for joining us on Big Brother.
Thank you.
Hope you do watch Big Brother Africa.
Of course.
And you're a fan, huh?
Of course.
Alright, so how do you see the whole Big Brother Africa?
Okay, to me, Big Brother Africa is just a game.
Okay.
It's just a game because you see people from different countries gather together,
Okay.
living in the same house, learning each one's character, emulating from each other.
Yeah.
So it's just a game.
For you, of course. Okay. So morally, what do you actually think of people? Do you think it has any moral values on the young generation?
Moral values, depending on the way they see it, because if it were to move over the shower time, as in what I heard, because they say that you can subscribe for that.
Yeah.
It's not good. It's not encouraging at all.
Okay.
Exposing the unclad pictures to young generation, they don't see something gospel about it. Because I don't think that a moral aspect, I don't grant that.
So if I get you correctly, you're trying to make reference to the shout time that people subscribe to. So if people can have access to housemates' privacy, that's not cool.
It's
Okay,
not
and Big Brother Africa, I don't think it's rated. I don't think it's rated. Even if it's rated 18, somebody that's above 18, it's just supposed to be seeing things like that. Okay, so I don't really understand exactly, but you get to see housemates who come into the house, and initially they're always very cool. Okay, because it's not always easy for you to pretend for a very long time. Okay, you see housemates who get into the house, and the first 1 week or 2 or 3 weeks, they're cool. They're just cool type. They're easygoing. Okay, but from 5 weeks, 6 weeks on, they begin to lose their cool. They start coming out from their shell. Okay, so do you actually think Big Brother has a way of pushing people to the limits? Yeah, pushing you to the limits and trying to make you, see the way you react to things, the way you react to situations, because you are out of your comfort zone. You're not in your house this time around, you're out of your comfort zone, and you don't always get things the way you want it. Okay, you have about 12 other housemates in there, and most of them, they have different ideologies, they have different ways of thinking, and definitely one day they will get on your nerves, and you will not tolerate them for a whole 11 weeks. Okay, so do you think character-wise, Big Brother builds its housemates? Does it help them tolerate each other? That's what I'm trying to say in essence. In that aspect, do you actually think it helps them tolerate each other, so that by the time they come out in the outside world, they can improve in terms of their character and be able to know that, okay, if it's somebody who is hot-tempered before, if the person comes out of the Big Brother house, that person doesn't really get hot-tempered like that, because he or she have had to deal with much more serious issues while in the house. Okay, so I'm trying to ask you now, do you think that character-wise, in terms of tolerance, does it build the housemates?
It helps in that, but you can't pretend to be whom you're not. You don't pretend.
Okay.
At times you do react to certain things.
Okay.
So coming to that aspect, you are exposing your character to the world.
Yes.
And people there are learning from you.
Yeah.
So you have to, before you react, think twice.
Okay.
You understand? And don't overreact, because that's what counts for you at the end of the day. But if you have to comport yourself for the whole 11 weeks and pretending, it's not fair. You can't continue to pretend. Because after some time, your true color will be exposed to the people who are watching.
If somebody pays you 25 million naira to pretend for 11 weeks, would you do that?
Of course, 25 million naira is a good sum of money. I do that.
So you can pretend for the whole 11
Of
weeks.
course.
So you can actually, people can actually come into the Big Brother house and not be themselves. Don't you think so?
It's normal.
Normal, yeah?
It's normal. Because everyone, I can't just stay for a whole 11 weeks and just give me 25 million naira. I'm not even working. I will enjoy it. So if I were to pretend for that Big Brother, I will do it.
For you to get the money.
Of course, I will do it.
So just when you said it, that's the mentality some of these housemates have, isn't it? Am I correct?
Correct. The business is that Big Brother helps you to bring down or maybe increase your level of thinking. Because in a house, you know that anything you do is under cameras. Everything you do is under camera supervision.
Exactly.
So you learn how to, and the said habits are formed in 21 days, 2 weeks. So, and they had a whooping 11 weeks to stay. So when someone pretends for 11 weeks, I think some of those pretenses can become part of you.
Yeah.
So when you come out of the house, you can as well start to exhibit some of those behaviors you learned
From
in
the
the
house.
house.
Exactly what I was trying to say in terms of tolerance and all that. Because I remember the last Big Brother season we had, that should be Big Brother Hot Shots, that had featured Tayo, Akin Tayo. Okay, Tayo was this kind of person that Tayo never cared about whose ox was horn. Tayo was straight. Tayo was real. Okay, Tayo gave it to you the way you wanted it. Okay, and people loved him for that. Tayo was being himself. He himself, if you cross his part, he's gonna tell you off immediately, and he doesn't care whether you're a guy or whether you're a girl. So at some point, people were actually enjoying, because somehow it was entertaining that this guy is being himself. And when it was 3 weeks to the show to finish, everybody thought Tayo was going to win. Tayo was going to win. Tayo was going to win. Only for Idris to win the show. Somebody that we never even expected was going to win by that show. So, in terms of that, I actually thought that sometimes your comportment in the house matters. Not only Akintayo, I don't know if you saw the season of Karen.
Yeah.
Karen and Lukle, it was 2 people actually won for that season. Karen and Lukle were supposed to win. From our own analysis, from viewers' analysis, they were supposed to win, okay? But if you look back at Lukle's behavior in the house, you see that Lukle was a very reckless person in terms of the way he talks. He disrespected Biggie a number of times, okay? And you don't just expect to just come in there, disrespect them, and at the end of the day, you walk away with their money, all right? So at the end, they just had to bust his bubbles, and they gave the money to Wendell together with Karen. I don't know if you understand me. So your morals in that house as well, when you comport yourself, whether the people love you or not, I think the big brother organizers, they still have a major role to play. Don't you think?
Yeah, I do. Because just like you said, there are other seasons that audiences, the viewers, they want a particular person to win. But at the end of the day, you find out that it's another winner. So I really think that the audience have 50% and the organizers also have 50%. So it doesn't really matter how much votes you have. What matters is, what do the organizers think about you?
But is that really fair? Since they tell us that it's we, the audience, that are voting, it means our vote doesn't count.
Yeah.
It means it doesn't count, does it?
Doesn't.
So irrespective, it's about being yourself. And so even if you're crazy, and we love you for being crazy, even if you're very we love you for being, we can as well vote for you, and they should give you your money, man, isn't it?
It is, but that's not the way the organizers see it. They see it as
even though they don't come out to tell us that that's not the way they see it, but from the way the whole thing is going, I think that is what they are doing.
Yeah. So I really think the organizers should at least start making, even if they're gonna scale the votes to 100%, it's gonna be the audience 70 and the organizers 30. So because the audiences, we believe we are the ones choosing the winners here, but actually we are not the ones choosing the winners
in some cases.
So I really think that the audience needs to adjust a little, and the organizers too needs to adjust a little, because if we audiences, the viewers, start saying something about it, telling the organizers off, telling them what you're doing to their faces, I think they're gonna at least adjust the way the organizers show. Okay. So that the audience's votes can really count.
Alright, we seem to be making a very wonderful progress. So I want to ask, from the previous seasons of Big Brother that we've had, is there anything about it that you don't like at all?
Yeah, there's so many things that they do in Big Brother Africa that's not proper. Things like, nudity, having sex, kissing, and all that to the housemates, and of course the shout time that people can subscribe to get. Nigeria is still a developing country, and we have younger minds here who are still developing, and all this stuff are not good enough for their consumption, because what we see is what we practice. And they are kids, they can't really rate it as just a reality show. They put it into practice. So I think that even though it's rated 18, but kids in Nigeria, Nigeria is a
it doesn't work in Nigeria. Rated movies don't work in Nigeria.
So we need to at least, if it's going to be possible, the viewers are going to restrict their children from watching the Big Brother Africa shows at some point.
Okay.
And also,
you had the viewers having restrict their kids from watching because
Yes.
what do you say to a working mother who leaves the house by 8 and comes back by 9 o'clock and by 9? So where would you now stay to restrict your kid
yeah,
from
and
watching?
we're also gonna talk to the organizers. You know, they should know that kids do watch this program, so they should at least restrict some of the stuff,
Censor
some parts of what they are doing. And they said everything you do is under camera supervision, but it shouldn't really be everything you do. There are some certain things that are not for the kids. They are strictly for the adults.
Okay.
So I think the organizer should at least restrict the housemates from doing some certain things
Okay.
in the program in the house, so that the viewers at least can have some morals.
Yeah.
You know, because the kids don't watch it nowadays because they want to learn something from it. No, they just watch it because they're enjoying it.
Yeah.
It's because the adults do watch it.
Yeah.
I had some of my kids, some of my cousins, they don't watch it because they are really enjoying it. No, they watch it because whenever I put on the TV to watch Big Brother Africa, all of them just sits around me and starts talking about, hey, look at this guy, this guy, this guy. So, and they see some certain things, and I cannot just tell them, close your eyes, do this, do that. No, I can't do that. So, I think the organizers should at least restrict the housemates from doing some certain set of things, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Probably when it gets to that point, you have to change to Cartoon Network or something.
Thank you, that's what I do. Sometimes I just send them to their rooms, you know. And kids, even if you send them to their rooms, they have nothing.
They peep from the door and they're like,
yeah,
look at Karen,
Yeah.
oh, she's naked, you
Yeah.
know, things like that. So you just have to switch over to Cartoon Network because sometimes it could
That's
actually
get
be very
bored.
tiring and all that. So that's the way it is, princess.
Okay, coming to that, I'll say that, do I say the Big Brother Africa should do something about exposure, the unclad picture, like he said. It's not proper. You can't ask a kid to go inside his room or turn over to another network. So the person have seen it already, and the person will be like, you know, kids are kids. I want to see more of it. Okay, auntie has switched over to another section. When she's not at home, I'll put it on to know what's going on.
Yeah.
You know, kids are kind of they like to search more about something.
Always inquisitive.
Of course, that's it. So coming to that, I'll say that that's not proper. That's not.
Let me just come in there. You know, sometimes you don't even necessarily need to go to the television this time around. You can actually access all these channels with your smartphones. And you see a boy or a girl of 10, 11, 12 years and they have smartphones. Okay, so they can actually, your TV can actually go to hell. They can sit in their rooms and they will have access to the internet and search for this, subscribe for it without your knowledge. Okay, so these people should actually look into that area to make sure they censor some things and make sure people shouldn't have access to what if you were to have a kid, if you were to have a child, you don't have your child go for Big Brother Africa.
No. I won't try that. Nigeria, no, I won't try that.
You won't see Nigeria.
So you said you will not allow your kids to go for Big Brother Africa.
No.
Why?
No.
Well, you said you go.
I'll go.
If you're paying 25 million to present for
because I
11
know the
weeks.
worth of the money.
For
present future.
And you think your kids don't know the worth of the money?
By then I'll confuse them with the money. No, let them not try that.
See,
Of course.
if you have to go to Big Brother Africa, maybe win, and then your kids already know that you were once
The
in
Big
the
Brother
house.
housemate, yes.
Good. They must go to YouTube, internet, search for the exit season that you were premiered, and they will look for your new pics.
That's history.
It's not
I'll
history.
tell them that's history. That's in the
And
past.
maybe they were sitting with their friends. Look at it this way. Okay, maybe they are sitting with their friends,
Okay.
and they opened the season that you premiered in. They subscribe to Showtime, and they sit down with their friends, and they are looking at their mother's new pictures.
No. I'm a new creation.
So
It
it doesn't matter whether you're a new creation, man. It doesn't matter.
Okay,
You're
now,
with kids.
look at it from this side. Okay, look at the trending cheating man stuff. I really think that video was not shot when she is now that she is the queen. I really thought that video was shot right before she won. So this video, even though she is the queen now, it doesn't really matter.
She's not the queen anymore.
She was the queen.
Even
though she was the queen,
yes.
yes, but it didn't really matter. It didn't really tell at all. People were still disappointed. And that is the exact way your kids will be disappointed, seeing their mother naked with their friends.
But we are talking about censoring the whole thing. By then, I won't be a part of that. They won't be showcasing my child time.
So what if you refuse to censor the whole thing?
Okay, see the deal now.
Okay, wait, let me switch the question for you.
Okay.
If you have paid 25 million naira to be your big brother Africa and for your nudity, for people to have access to your shower time, putting on your clothes, will you still go?
That's embarrassing. I won't try that.
I won't
try that.
Okay.
No, I won't try that.
Okay.
I won't try that.
It's not worth
your body.
Yeah, of course. I'm not a porn star.
Even if it is $25 billion.
So what? Are you sure about that? If I give you a bag, will you swear to that?
Yes.
You can't swear to that because
You can't
it's not
swear to
really
that,
that
bro.
situation whereby you will request for that. Because you are being sponsored by your parents.
I don't really think Big Brother or any other show at all has an influence in my life because no amount of money, I don't see money as a big deal. No amount of money can push me to do what I cannot do.
For now.
You think
It's not about for now. It's a discipline that you can build for yourself.
Exactly.
It's something that is positive on you.
Okay, talking about
It
this.
seems you're so money conscious.
No, talking about discipline. It's talking about discipline. Are you trying to tell me that if you have the opportunity to save a soul, maybe your blood or something like that, if you have opportunity to do that, you won't regard your discipline. You don't regard that because everyone will be like, you have the opportunity to do that, but you don't do it. That's
Go to Big Brother Africa.
Okay, that's not what you were asked. That's saving a soul. Maybe that's the only opportunity to save a soul.
Let's let it be for now. So for you will do that.
I don't know.
I don't know. You should not. If you are telling me for what it means, you don't have a problem with doing it. If you are taking him for saying what he said, you do not have a problem with doing that.
You do.
That will affect my future.
Okay. Let's assume that you're not being stable right now. I want you to be stable. You said that he will not do it. So I want you to say whether you will or you will not do it. So if you're given an opportunity to probably your sister is ill, very sick, and you're given the opportunity that people will have access to your nude pictures, your shower time.
Okay, let's say she.
For $25 million, people should have access. That is the only way that you can get that money to save your sister. Will you or will you not do it? I don't want to say.
Okay, no, again.
Will you do it?
To be honest, no. I won't do it.
There are other banks. You can also go to the bank.
In life, there's always two things involved. Of course. There's always two things involved. I'm not attacking him. I'm just telling him that if you have the opportunity, let him make use of it.
Okay, if you have the opportunity, you say you want.
I'm a woman.
It's easier for me,
Of course, I'm a woman.
Alright, guys.
Of course.
It's getting quite interactive now. So what are your expectations from the Big Brother Naija? It's not coming as Big Brother Africa again, but it's going to be Big Brother Naija, and it's going to happen in Nigeria, Lagos precisely. So what are your expectations?
Okay. Well, Nigerian, let me say Nigerian in whole. Every parents in Nigeria are Christian.
Okay.
Only very few will allow their children to go for a show that the nude aspect will be exposed.
Okay.
So I'm trying to say that Nigerians know what's right and what's wrong. We are not Americans and we don't imitate them.
Okay.
If you know what's right and what will enhance the life of people, do it. Yeah. So as of that, I know that Nigerian can involve in such things. It's not good. Okay. It's not impacting any moral aspect in young generation. So I'll say that my expectation is that Nigeria, I proudly support Nigeria because we are moving for higher heights. and I know that Nigeria knows what is good and what's wrong.
Okay.
So I'll say that my expectations, I'll be expecting something like unclad pictures. I'll be expecting that because we strongest times for Nigeria, and Nigeria is a great nation. And of course, everyone in Nigeria
We need to promote our moral values
of
and
course,
culture.
that's why we are Nigerian and we don't imitate outsiders. That's it.
Alright, so David, what are your expectations?
Coming to mind, I expect to see well-cultured cultured show, perfect atmosphere, and free and fair judgment.
Yeah.
Free and fair judgment. Let the votes of the viewers count this time. In Nigeria, we are cultured descent, and we have a cultured country. In the world, I don't think any other country has the kind of culture Nigeria has. Because in Nigeria, it is not proper for a kid to watch nudity.
Okay.
And the judges, of course, the judges do know that. If the judges are Nigerians, they will know that. They know that their kids are at home and they're watching this.
Yeah.
So they wouldn't love to expose nudity to their children. So I think this time around, it's going to be a little more moral.
Okay.
Because Nigerians, we do stand for what's right. We don't believe like the Americans, the British, the Irish and all that. They do take things the way they sit. But not we in Nigeria, we don't believe in that.
Okay.
Yeah. So I really think that this time around is going to be perfect.
Okay.
It's going to be perfect.
Alright, I really want to appreciate you guys for joining me.
Yeah,
Thank you so much for coming through to come and talk about this. I really appreciate your time. Thank you so much, and I hope to have you next time on How to Have Fun.
I would really looking forward to it.
Okay guys, there you have it. We are done and we have talked about it. We believe we have been able to satisfy your questions, okay, things that you have been yearning for, these things that you have always wanted us to talk about. We hope that we satisfied you and we gave you answers that actually met your satisfaction. Alright, we'll be back again with another edition of How to Have Fun. Remember when we talked about what is about Big Brother Naija, which will be hitting your screens in a couple of days, and that will be happening on DSTV and GoTV respectively. So if you have access to those things, you can actually go check it out and see how it is going to be. Till I come your way next time, my name is Still Favor, and remember this is still How to Have Fun, and keep it locked down on the station. See you guys, bye.